Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're grabbing the sources and plunging into a core paradox that you see in businesses everywhere, but it's especially visible in the hospitality industry.
Yeah, it really is.
We're talking about that deeply comforting but totally dangerous belief that a crowded room or just massive foot traffic automatically means you have a healthy, profitable business.
It's the illusion of full tables. And if you look at the consulting work from Chef Arun Chanda, which is, what we're really digging into today, this is a ghost that haunts so many restaurants.
A ghost in the machine.
Totally.
Yeah.
A place can feel successful. It can be the busiest spot on the block, but financially, it's on life support, just completely unsustainable.
We have to start with this one quote from the material because it just forces you to question everything. The statement is, top line is an emotion, bottom line is math.
That's everything, isn't it? The top line, that big revenue number, how many covers you did, that gives an operator this psychological high. It's validation. You feel like you've made it.
Of course.
But success is just math. At the end of the day, it's math. If you are packed, but your costs are quietly creeping up, or your portions are, a little too generous, you are, as Chanda puts it, bleeding quietly.
And that's this idea of cosmetic success. It looks incredible on social media, right? A line out the door, every single table full.
Exactly.
But if you're ignoring inventory loss, or you're not tracking your food costs properly, or you have no idea what your contribution margins are, that beautiful picture is actually pretty dangerous. How do people even start to see that they're failing while looking so successful?
Well, that's the fascinating part. Popularity can mask a really poor pricing strategy. That crowded room isn't proof that you're offering great value. It might just be proof that your prices are too low.
Oh.
Or that you're leaning way too heavily on, low margin stuff. Daily specials, discounted happy hour cocktails, things that just get bodies in the door. The business is busy, sure, but it's just moving inventory. It's not actually capturing enough value.
So from the outside, it looks like this massive demand, but internally, there's this slow, fatal erosion happening. You mentioned contribution margin. For anyone listening who doesn't live and breathe restaurant accounting, can you break that down? Why is that a better health indicator than just, say, the revenue per dish?
That's a critical distinction. So raw revenue is just the money that came in. Simple. The contribution margin, on the other hand, is what's left over after you've paid for the direct costs of that one item.
The ingredients,
The ingredients, maybe some immediate labor, the packaging.
Yeah.
It's the cash that's left over to contribute to paying your rent, your utilities, and eventually your profit.
I see.
So if a dish is cheap to make, you can sell a ton of it. But if its margin is razor thin, you have to sell an impossible volume just to survive. That low margin item might be why your room is full, but it's also why you're barely breaking even.
That makes perfect sense. Your electricity bill goes up, but you haven't touched the price of your signature burger in 3 years, so your margins have just, evaporated.
Sure.
So, okay, let's move from just recognizing the problem to how do you engineer a solution? This has to involve a forensic look at the menu itself, and the source material points us toward this 80-20 reality.
Absolutely. The solution is all in the data. Specifically, using what's called an ABC analysis. It's a really powerful tool, and it just reveals this universal business truth right there on your menu.
It is.
It shows that in most restaurants, something like 20% of your menu items, your A items, are generating close to 80% of your total revenue. And even more critically, 80% of your total contribution. That 20% is the profitable core of your entire business.
So let me get this straight. 80% of the dishes on the menu are, statistically, your slow movers, your C items, just menu clutter.
But wait, doesn't that sound risky? I mean, are you really suggesting that operators should just ignore 80% of what they offer?
Not ignore it, but deprioritize the energy you spend trying to fix them. The common mistake, as Chef Chanda observes, is that teams get obsessed with the slow movers.
Right. Why isn't the C-base selling? Exactly. They spend all this time tweaking the recipe, retraining staff, running promotions on dishes that, customers just aren't that excited about. All that effort creates incredible chaos for a very, very low impact.
And how does that chaos actually show up on an operational level?
Well, just think about your supply chain. If you're trying to support 50 different slow-moving items, you need 50 different sets of ingredients in your storage.
Oh, wow.
Inventory gets complex. Ordering is a nightmare, and food just clumping. It expires. It gets wasted because it's not rotating fast enough. Your chefs are prepping ingredients for dishes that might not sell for 2 days.
So you're saying by focusing on that profitable 20%, you streamline everything?
Everything. Purchasing waste, prep cycles, and you make sure that your A items, your actual money makers, are consistently exceptional because that's where all the discipline is focused.
So real kitchen efficiency isn't just about how fast you can chop an onion. It's strategic. It's about engineering your prep around the dishes that actually pay the rent.
That's it. You're letting data dictate the entire rhythm of the back of the house, moving resources away from the clutter and toward your proven winners.
Okay, to make this really concrete for you listening, the sources give us this perfect contrasting case study. It really drives home this idea. Covers are vanity, contribution is sanity.
Let's start with the illusion. Case A. This was a super busy, bustling cafe. Talk of the town, they were hitting 120 covers a night, easy. Often had a line right down the block.
So the owner felt like a rock star.
A massive success by every visible metric. But then Chanda's team digs into the books, and the picture is just horrific.
So why were they always so crowded?
Heavy discounts, constantly. And their food cost was through the roof because of chronic overportioning. Right. They were literally giving away too much food on every plate.
And all that wastage we just talked about.
It was rampant. The result, despite that massive, visible crowd, the cafe was basically running just to break even. Some months, they were even losing money.
Unbelievable. Okay, so what's the contrast?
Case B. A different, much more modest restaurant across the street. It was just steady, quiet business, doing maybe 50 covers a night, no lines, no big social media buzz. Yeah. But every single element was engineered. Disciplined prep, precise portion control, prices that reflected their true costs, plus a healthy margin, and a laser focus on their high contribution A items.
And the bottom line?
Their bottom line was double that of the crowded, chaotic cafe.
Double. On less than half the customers.
Exactly. Case B was disciplined, predictable, profitable. Case A was popular, exhausting, and borderline insolvent. That was the big realization for the client. The number of covers is pure vanity. It's an ego boost.
Yeah.
The profit you capture per cover, the contribution, that's sanity. That's sustainability.
That is just a staggering difference. It shows that capturing value is a completely different skill from just generating foot traffic, which I guess brings us to the operational model itself. You can't get that kind of disciplined profit without a fully committed operational truth.
Absolutely. The sources really stress this. There are basically two models that work in hospitality. You have your high volume, low margin model, and your low volume, high margin model.
Both are valid.
Both are perfectly valid paths to success, but they require a fundamentally different operational approach. You have to pick one and commit to it, 100%.
So let's take that high volume cafe. What's the operational truth it demands?
It lives and dies on efficiency. Speed. The kitchen has to be laid out for throughput. Rapid table turns are a key metric. The staff's mindset has to be built for tempo, for hustle. If a guest hangs around too long or the kitchen gets backed up for 5 minutes, the whole model starts to break down.
Because you need that volume to make up for the low margins.
Precisely. And now compare that to a fine dining or high margin spot.
Completely different world.
It lives on intention, not speed. Their operational truth is precision plating. It's emotional storytelling, deep guest engagement. The team sees service as theater, not throughput.
The profit comes from high check averages.
High check averages, a curated experience. It demands patience, incredible attention to detail, and much more specialized labor. You're selling an experience, not just a transaction.
And this is where the problems start, right? When operators copy the surface level stuff, the cool decor, trendy dish, but they don't get the underlying operational truth.
That's where it all goes wrong.
So what happens when you mix those mindsets? Like a fine dining philosophy in a fast casual space?
It's a disaster. We've seen it. Imagine a chef from a high-end background trying to run a high-volume sandwich shop. They spend 3 minutes meticulously plating a sandwich, garnishing it with microgreens.
Instead of 30 seconds wrapping it and getting it out the door.
Yes. Their food cost might be okay, but their labor cost explodes, and their most crucial metric, speed, is completely gone. You just cannot afford fine dining service standards when your average check is $15. The underlying truth is always, the mindset is the model.
It's not the food, it's the delivery system for the food. And this gets us to the really subtle, unseen details that decide if that system can even work. It goes beyond the kitchen.
It does. These are the external alignment factors. The psychology of the neighborhood, the real aspirations of your target market, the rhythm of the local footfall. And critically, you have to distinguish between what the market wants and what the market will pay for.
Two very different things.
Fundamentally different things. People might want the ambiance of a high-end place, but they're only willing to spend fast casual money on a Tuesday night.
Right.
Every concept in every community has its own financial and cultural language. If you open that premium high-intention restaurant in a neighborhood that's all about quick, value-focused meals, you have an immediate misalignment.
Yeah.
And misalignment leads directly to chaos and loss.
And that misalignment must bleed into hiring, too. You can't put someone with a purely fast food mindset, speed, repetition, low cost, into a premium setting.
Yeah. You can't. They'll miss the details, the engagement, the nuanced care that premium pricing demands. The whole intention of the concept gets diluted. If the team doesn't embody the model won't produce the profit. It's a holistic system.
It's like having all the right parts, but assembling the machine incorrectly. Let's go back to that cricket analogy from the sources to wrap this up.
Yes, it's a perfect analogy. So many operators look busy. They're hitting every ball. There's movement, there's noise, covers are being served, tables are turning.
But they're not scoring runs.
They're not scoring runs. The movement isn't effective or disciplined. They're running hard, but just getting singles when they desperately needed boundaries. The scoreboard, the bottom line, stays empty.
So to summarize this whole deep dive, full tables are only an indicator of demand. That's it, not financial health. What secures the future is contribution, focused engineering, relentless discipline, and total operational alignment.
I think the core lesson from Chanda's work is this. In hospitality, perception attracts the crowd, but only structure sustains the business. Profit isn't in the noise of a crowded room. It's found in the nuances, the pricing, the portions, the engineering, and the discipline of your team.
Don't fall in love with the crowd. Fall in love with the numbers behind it.
And for you, the listener, think about this. If covers are vanity and contribution is sanity, take a second to reflect on your own work. What unseen factor, what operational nuance are you maybe overlooking in your current focus? Maybe a small business, big project, even a personal investment. Or are you just busy hitting every ball without scoring the runs that actually matter? Stay reflective, stay precise, and stay aligned with what truly drives value.